Hey guys, it's Paul and Bob again with the Virginia Hawkeye, and today the boat is on the hard. You can see they have it blocked off here, and there's actually workers working on the bottom. And this is probably what I would call a routine bottom job. Everything checks out pretty good, and they'll just pretty much do a sand down the bottom. They do 3 coats of paint around the edges and 2 coats of paint on the bottom there. But this is only because 10 years ago, or how long ago was it?
5 years ago since I pulled it. So.
Yeah, 5 years ago, Bob had a complete job done where they have to strip all the paint off there, and that's just from years and years and years of putting paint on there. And that has to be done, I would say, it's typically 10 to 20 years that it has to be. I had to do it on Loop Princess. You guys saw the videos where I was doing it. It was miserable, and I ended up having to do all that work myself. But today I really want to talk about, like, Bob has lived on the Virginia Hawkeye here for the last 3 years.
Three and a half.
3.5 years. And then, me and Bev have lived up full time on our boat, and it's not all about being pretty. It's not all sexy, because this is the type of stuff you got to deal with. Like, Bob and Vicky had to get off the boat for a week or so, maybe a week.
Well, we're thinking it's going to be about a week. I'm surprised at how good a condition the bottom is in. And looks like we'll have some pretty easy work to get it restored.
Yeah, I don't see too many problems going on with the bottom, but this is just something you have to deal with. It's every 10, or every, they recommend every 16 months here in the salt water that you pull your boat out, have it pressure washed, and a new coat put on like this.
I think they said, they indicated earlier today that the fact that we took it into fresh water over the summer probably helped it, and we've been back in the water down here in a brackish water situation now since early November, and this is the first time we pulled it. It looks great, but it's something that you have to deal with. If you're going to live on a boat, you've got to do routine maintenance to it.
Right, and so then, like, now Bob has to be inconvenienced of finding a place to live. It's not fun. Another big thing that for me, like living aboard, is the head's always an issue. It's just not sexy, and it's once in a while they plug up. Once in a while you got to go in there and pull that hose. Once in a while, that kind of stuff happens. It's not all sexy.
You know what? It's not, and there's times where, as much as I love sitting out on the back of the boat having a scotch and a good cigar, there's times that you should probably do preventative maintenance.
Yeah, correct.
And it's like on the heads. That's a perfect place to disconnect the hose, put a pressure hose in it, and
right.
Switch it over and blow it out. I mean, you can do that in a matter of 30-40 minutes versus having to deal with it when it's stopped up.
Yeah, and then another thing, like the AC units, say, keeping the strainers cleaned, flushing them with fresh water. But all of this stuff has to be done while you're living full-time on one of these boats, or one of these, especially, these trawlers. It doesn't matter, any boat, doesn't matter, sailboat, powerboat, it really doesn't matter. All of this stuff has to be done. And, I've been living full-time on mine for a year. Another big one for me, do you guys shower in this boat or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we shower in our boat every night. The shower sump seems to be a one that it just needs its one.
Well, when you get in there and you've got all this hair, it clogs up.
That's sexy, Bob.
It clogs things up. And so I've just recently replaced the pump on my shower.
I did it last week, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That happens. That's kind of that routine maintenance that is going to happen. And it typically happens exactly when you don't want it to.
Yeah, right.
You're right in the middle of a shower.
Right. The thing starts to back up on you. But like even my shower stump the other day. But another thing is, like, go a month, there's typically a sump down there. You have to go in there. You have to clean that out.
Clean it out, yeah.
And go in there.
Like my wife has long hair, and the hair gets stopped up in there, and it's not like the shower you have in your house, for sure.
Yeah, right. And it's not like, so there are pros and cons to living this lifestyle, and it's a choice. And, we don't have any grass to mow.
You know what? I've enjoyed the 3.5 years that we've been on the boat. If I look at the positives versus the negatives, and do the old Benjamin Franklin thing, that I would much rather be on the boat. And it's a good lifestyle. You know, there's times, I mean, we've got all of the conveniences on the boat, shower, stove, oven, microwave,
Yeah, right.
televisions. So it's not like we're doing
You're not
without,
suffering yet. No.
but we can pick up the anchor and drop it anywhere, and that's home.
Yeah, right. And that's like I talked about in our other video, that's like one of the conveniences of having it. But there's also, I just want everybody to understand that there is a downside to it too. And the downside is,
This is downside right now.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
And
my wife and I are fortunate that we do have a place to stay while it's on the hard. You know, we'll get the work done, put it back in the water, and be back on the boat as soon as it's ready.
And because another thing is, you know, when I was talking the other day in our maintenance video about this is part of living aboard the boat too, because he may have done this 5 years ago, and this is going to be you know, $2,500 bill maybe somewhere around there.
Well, just for the bottom alone, they're talking $55 a foot.
Okay.
And they're saying that includes the paint. And, you know, so it's about $2,200. I'm going to have a couple of zincs replaced
Yep.
while I'm doing this, so that'll add to the cost a little bit. But I suspect that I'll be able to get out from underneath this particular bottom job for $2,500, $2,600.
And that's, so if you do that by the month, every month, that's $200 a month just this year for the maintenance on his boat. But he'd have to amortize that back 5 years. So it's not horribly expensive when you do that. And another reason Bob gets away with that because of he takes it up into the freshwater. He goes up to Green Turtle Bay or something. Pretty much every season you've gone to freshwater.
We have,
right?
yeah, we've always gone to freshwater. You know, we spend the winters, you know, traveling down to
south.
places like south, you know,
Yeah, right.
south, going down to Fort Myers and Marco Island and the Keys, and you know, that's always a good trip. You've got to cross the Gulf of Mexico to make that trip.
Right.
And
Talking to Bob on a couple of his experiences on that. Well, I'll have to do a video on that one day once we get this thing back in the water and me and you are sitting in the back of the boat there. Cause
we'll grab a glass of wine, sit back there, and just talk war stories.
Bob's got an interesting story where him and Vicky are just holding on for dear life, but it was funny. Anyway, I enjoyed bringing the boat over yesterday, Bob. Thanks for letting me do it. And anything we want to...
Well, you proved to be a very skilled captain.
I told you.
Anytime you're operating a single screw with no bow thrusters and you got 20 plus knot winds.
Yeah, it was.
I was very impressed with your skills.
I was less nervous about that than I am with my twin screw boat. I just because of the years I've driven them, and I kind of know, and I use the wind to my advantage. And then we had great dock hands, and by calling and getting everything taken care of, it went pretty smoothly. Anyway,
it could have been worse. It could have been worse. So.
All right, guys, me and Bob live with no regret. We want you to too. Remember, peace out. You gotta leave your comment down below. I want to hear what you guys think about all this too. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. Bye.